working on this farmhouse block and I have it all laid out. I kind of just looked at the picture, laid everything out, and I'm just going to start sewing. Okay, so the first thing it says is we're going to assemble C, O, and D, and C, O, and D is at the very top. So I'll just grab that top section and start sewing. I am going to also be sewing my leaders and enders project. So I have these set out and I just need to lay them out so I know how I'm going to be sewing them up. But I think this block is going to be so cute. I have made this block before and I think it's really cute. I really do like it. And I'm also having fun with these 9-patch blocks. I think they're so fun. Although there are like a gazillion threads. So on here, let's see. The smaller section is in the middle, so I'll just sew that. Okay, I'm going to press this. So there is the top, or what I would call the top. Okay, now it says take fabric A with E and stitch a 1/4 inch from the drawn line down the center. So I already have these together. Some of this fabric is a little bit wrinkled from being in, like folded and in the box and stuff. So, okay, so I am going to put these two pieces together. It says to draw a line on the diagonal. I'm just using my seam tape here. And it says to stitch, a 1/4 inch from each side of the drawn line. Okay. So a 1/4 inch from each side. So actually, let me draw a line really quick because I want to make sure I do this right. Okay, so let's see, draw a line and stitch on each side. So then you'll be making 2 from this. Okay, so there's my line and stitch from each side. Okay. Oops. Okay, so a leader and ender. Now I'm going to stitch on the other side. Another leader and ender. Okay, so it says once I sew this, I should cut apart on the marked line. And then I need to press these with an iron, so I'll be right back. And now I'll set those aside. Let's see what the next step says. Oops, maybe I'll take these back. Draw a diagonal line on the wrong side of fabric L squares. And pay attention to the placement. And stitch on the drawn line and trim away. So let's see, let me look and see what L is. Excuse me, L is going to be one of these little 1.5 inch squares. So I need one for each of these. And I'm going to turn these to look like this. And I'm going to place it at the bottom right and then stitch on the drawn line. So let me do that. So there's 1 and 2. And then I have my leaders and my enders, so let me look at that. Okay, so I'm going to sew my leaders and enders together. I am to the point here where I need to assemble my 9-patch block, so I'm going to pin to ensure that I line up these little squares and these seams. So when I pin these, I'm just trying to nest them together. And then what I do is I open it and I look to see how well that got pinned, and it turned out really nice. So now I can sew that. Okay, so then going back to my block, I am going to trim these and then I'm going to press them with an iron. So just on the bottom of both of these, I'm doing the same thing. So I'm just going to chain piece. Instead of doing like one at a time, one of these at a time, I'm just chaining so that I guess it gets done faster. Okay, going back to my block, my extra quilt. My extra quilt block, I am going to pin and finish up this 9-patch. So I know I keep going back and forth between these two projects, but it's like I'm working on 2 quilts at once, and I do enjoy that. I guess I really just enjoy using up my scraps. And this 9-patch, scrappy 9-patch, the quilt I saw, I thought was really fun and cute. And you look at the quilt and you don't necessarily know that they're scraps. So I do like that aspect as well. Okay, so going back to here, at the bottom, so we got these at the bottom. So now I just have to add the other one to the other side. So let's go like this. And I hope, let me double check on this. This is F. Let me double check on the size of F. So F is, okay, a 3.5 inch square. I just wanted to make sure I had this going the right way. Okay, so since I did finish up that 9-patch, I am going to get out more fabric for another 9-patch block. So here's another one right here. I'm trying to think of how we'll do that. Okay, so here's another 9-patch block. There's that first 9-patch block, so that's done. It just needs pressed. And then here are those pieces for the farmhouse block. So it says to trim away these corners and press them with an iron. So here are those pieces. Oh, and it's supposed to look like that. And here's the 9 patch. So I'll set the 9 patch aside, set these aside because these go with the roof. Actually, let's see. Okay, these are going to go like this. So I'm going to assemble the roof. It goes like this, and like this, and whoops, and like this. So I'm just going to make sure, let me see if I can make sure you can see this. I'm just going to make sure that I pin each of these intersections. So let me sew this up and be right back. Okay, I finished another 9 patch block to add to my secondary quilt. And then I worked on these window units. They go like this. And then I have all of this laid out here as well. So I just need to assemble a lot of this. And I'm just going to just keep sewing away. I'm going to turn the camera a little bit like this. And I'll just grab these pieces here and just sew them up. Okay, so these were the windows, the lower window units, and this is the upper window unit. So now it says I need to sew this together. I did start another 9 patch block. So working on that. Okay, so now that this is assembled, it says that I need to, let me make sure I'm in the shot. Okay, I need to add this. Maybe my scissors out of the way. So I need to take this and then these windows, and sew all 3 of these together. So I'm just going to do this, the window unit first. Do a little bit of pinning. Okay. I tell you what, the threads on these 9 patches is driving me nuts. Okay, let me press this real quick. So I have this upper window unit and a lower window unit. So I'm just going to pin those. My foot pedal keeps sliding away from me today. Okay, so if you guys have thought about sewing an additional quilt, you'll have to let me know. Or is that something you do? I know I asked before, but I'm just curious what everybody does. I can't really remember. Okay, so on this one, I have this unit, and then it says take B, which are these background fabric pieces. And it says that I need to attach them to the side. Okay, so I was just making sure I was doing this right, but I am. There's only, I don't know how you could do it wrong. It wouldn't fit on the other side, but for some reason I was thinking it was wrong. Okay, so I'll sew this on, and then I can turn the page and assemble the roof to this house and put in the sidewalk and the grass, and it's going to be looking good. Oh, you know what? I don't know how that happened, but this thread totally just snapped. It's very interesting. I don't have that happen like very often. And it was at the very end of that block, or not block, the very end of that seam. So I'm going to unthread my machine. And just to make sure, I'm just going to unthread my bobbin and rethread. I like to, when I have problems like that, I kind of like to unthread everything and rethread it. And there's that piece of thread that broke off. That's kind of interesting. I just, like I said, I don't have very many problems with this machine. I have had some, but I do love this machine. So if you ever thought about getting a Juki, I do like this machine. I like it a lot. And it does have an automatic needle threader. I just always thread my needle. Okay, so I am just going to run a few more stitches on this last part where that thread broke, just to make sure, I guess. And I didn't use a leader or an ender there, but I'm okay with that. I am just trying to trim all these little threads so I don't forget about them. Okay, so now let's do this side. Okay, and now a leader and an ender. Whoops. And I'll press this with an iron. Okay, so this is my door here. And here's the other side. So this is making, I think it says, let's see, making the sidewalk. Okay, so I'm going to take Q and R. Let me check. So this is R. And this is Q. And it says I'm going to go like this. And I'm going to sew at an angle. Okay, so another leader and ender. This block is almost done. So I'm just going to pin it again. Okay, so I have this. I'm gonna need to trim this away. And I'll press it with an iron. And now it says I need to take this and this one and put it like this. Whoops, upside down, right sides together. And sew at an angle. Okay, and then just finishing again this 9-patch block. So So here's another 9-patch block gonna be finished, so this is exciting. Okay, so let's see on this one. Let me trim this and press it. Okay, so there's my sidewalk. So now I'm going to assemble the sidewalk for the bottom of this house. And I'm going to pin it. So this one's finished, so it just needs to be pressed. So I got that seam, this seam, and then one last seam after that to attach the two. So I'm not going to start another 9-patch block. Okay, so let me press these and then I will assemble them and then the house is done. But first, here's that 9-patch block, so that one's done. Oh my goodness, this is so cute. I can't wait. I think this is a good way to end this month sewing all of these Lori Holt blocks. So now I have 5 blocks done. 5 out of 26. That is crazy. It just seems like it's going so fast already. So, okay, once again, I don't have a leader or ender, so just holding my threads to start. It's something I always do. Okay, I'll give this one final press, and this block is done. Okay, I have to say this block is so cute. I think it's one of my favorites. I think it turned out so cute. So there it is. And here is that 9-patch. I think this one turned out so cute, you guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.